Meaning. Meaning. All intelligent people seek meaning in their own lives and the lives of those whom they love, and the lives of our country, and the lives of the world, the ways of the nation. Meaning is that thing for which they look, because that is the skeleton, the structure upon which we typically will hang everything else that we encounter, what things mean. The opening line from our epistle for today: "Let a man so account of us as of the ministers of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God." So very simply, let the people who know us say about us, yes, he or she is a minister of Christ. They take God's word seriously. They take it out into the world. They do the things they're supposed to do in the way they're supposed to do them. So they know us as ministers. But meaning has do many things, multiple layers. There is that surface meaning that we can just look at a thing and observe it and get a little meaning from it. You know, if I were to look down the hall and see smoke coming out of the parish hall, that would mean that there's probably something going on in there we need to look after. Fire, something's going on. There's a meaning behind that smoke, but that's readily observable. As in the Eastern Church, who delights in this, and for whom for us as well, should be a profitable spiritual exercise, we need to peel back some of the layers of the onion to look for the meaning that exists below those things. For example, if people generally meet you, come to know you, and say, oh, he or she, minister of Christ, good people, but then it slowly, gets about town that you're mean to your children, and when you get home, the first thing you do is kick the dog through the hedge. They're going to revise their opinion, and rightfully so, because no minister of Christ is going to behave in that way. So those lower layers, particularly the ones that we don't often show, or that we not necessarily conceal, but don't put on a flag and wave around, those are the layers of meaning that are sometimes most important, because they're indicative of who and how we truly are. For us in the church, the calendar is laden with meaning. On every page, on every little square, there's information written there. There's a color that indicates the color of the day. We all know that Advent, like Lent, is a violet day. And so we know that we're in a penitential season. And the Mass for the third Sunday in Advent is identical to the other three. There are no changes in the Mass, but the color is different. And so here's a clue to meaning. The meaning, very simply, being that despite the seasons, the times, and the tides, however dark it may seem outside, there is light. Light is always there, behind and above all things. So Holy Church, in her wisdom, both, again, in Advent and in Lent, gives us a lighter day, if you will, of vestments to remind us that not everything is so completely dark and gloomy and tied down to sin. There is light there. But there again, we have to peel away the layers of our lives and the layers of what Holy Church teaches us to find it, to know it, to mean it, and to live it. Gospel for today. Now when John had heard in the prison the works of Christ, he sent two of his disciples and said unto him, Art thou he that should come, or do we look for another? So John is doing what we should do. John has heard, although in prison, of the works that this Jesus fellow has been doing. He's heard of some miracles. He's heard of some incredible happenings. He's heard of masses of people following this prophet, whoever this person is. And so John, St. John Baptist, is peeling back the layers of the onion. Who are you really? Are you him? He's searching for the meaning of the life of this man, of whom he hears much, but doesn't know immediately. Meaning is at the core of everything that we are. Everything has meaning. The lights are on. It means we must have paid the bill. We're all sitting in our chairs and standing on the stage here. Must mean gravity's still in effect, at least here. I don't know about the rest of the world, but we got it here. This wood, these rails, these dark wood rails around the choir, the sanctuary. If you know the history of the parish, were given by a man when they were building the parish from a tree, a walnut tree that he had felled on his own property. And so there's meaning, even behind just that piece of wood, there's meaning that someone, sometime, made sacrifice and provided for the church. And beautifully so. Everything has a meaning. And if we're honest, most things have more than one meaning. That carpet on the floor, we know it's probably not wool, it's probably polyester, probably man-made. But what's below that? Well, if it's a man-made chemical, that means it probably came out of an oil well at some point, which came out of a dinosaur, which et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Meaning has many, many layers, and we need to be more concerned with that. We need to be more concerned, especially now. You go online, I have no idea if anything I read is true. I just don't know. And in many cases, I have no way of verifying it. Because if I go to another source, how do I know that they're not being deceiving or outright lying or heaven knows what? Meaning becomes more and more important as our society becomes more and more, there are no good words, confused, let's say. Look for meaning. Look for the meaning in that cross and he who hangs upon it. Look for meaning in the holy words that his church teaches and preaches. Look for meaning in your own lives. Where have you served him? Where have we served him? Where have we not served him when we should have? Everything means something. And the greatest meaning is that God loved us and waits for us throughout all that's here, helping us to fill his kingdom in heaven with meaning. I bring you these words in the name